Conference on Intercultural Education. I'm honored to be here as your moderator, and I want to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us today in this room. First of all, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Anna Angleni, and I will be serving as your moderator for this oral session. In this session, we are going to have two presentations. Let me explain it in more detail. First, each presenter will be invited to present a duration of 15 minutes. Once all the presentations are finished, there will be a question and answer session with a duration of 20 minutes, which will be led by me. To all of the participants, if you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat box or ask directly to the presenter by using the raise hand feature. But don't forget to mention your name, affiliation, and to whom the question is addressed. And we will address it in the Q&A session. So there are two sessions. The first is presentation, and the second is Q&A. Last but not least, for all the participants, please stay in the room until the presentation is finished. And to each presenter, specifically from Universitas Siliwangi, please remember to record your own presentation. All right, and now, without further ado, let's dive into the presentations and learn from our expected presenters. And I remind you again, guys, please don't forget to record your own presentation. Okay, next, our first presenters will discuss about utilization of technology on formative assessment in English learning, students' perception study. It will be presented by Muhammad Naufal Lazuardi, Sharla Arrumaisha Isfahani, Siti Marisa Rahmayanti, Devani Fauzan Seftian, Siti Salwa Nurazizah from Universitas Siliwangi. Are you guys ready to present the material? Okay, we will record your presentation. Okay. Sure, you can record this room. And please drop your PowerPoint.
We cannot do the record because it's need the permission for the host.
Okay. You have 15 minutes. You can start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
All right. First of all, I want to thank you from Before, and here we are going to present our research article with the title is Utilization of Technology on Formative Assessment in English Learning Student Perception Study. And next, here are the table of contents. As you can see, there are several materials here, and the first material is about introduction that will be presented by me. Next. So formative assessment is an important instrument in education as an evaluation of students. The assessment, the integration of technology in formative assessment can replace traditional method in formative assessment that are considered tedious for some students. So the importance of this study is enables to understand the impact of technology on formative assessment in English language learning, providing detailed insight tailored to the specific content. Next. So according to Zorova et al. 2022, formative assessment is a continuous process used to identify each student learning needs and track their progress. And also, according to C et al. 2021, describe that technological form assessment as the use of digital digital tools and platforms to deliver formative assessment. I think that's all from me. The next material will be continued by my friends. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Marisa. So based on the introduction before, the research question of this study is how is student perception regarding technology used in formative assessment and its impact in English language learning. Meanwhile, for the research objective, this study aims to contribute meaningful insights that can guide educational practice, policy, and future research attempts by investigating students' attitudes, experiences, and preferences about the use of technology in formative assessment, particularly in the English language learning process. And then next, please move to the research procedure. There we have a research method, setting and participants, technique of collection data, and technique of analysis the data. Qualitative methodology was employed for this study, emphasizing the meaning attributed to experiences within social context to gain a deep understanding of individuals' perspectives, feelings, and experiences in their natural context. And for the setting and participants, four students of the English education at one of university in Tasikmalaya consists of one man and one woman from 2022 cohorts and one man and woman from 2023 who participated in the study. And then in collecting the data, interviews were used with semi-structured technique, and the interview protocol comprised 10 questions decided using the technology acceptance model or TAM. And the data analysis model used is an interactive model of Miles, Huberman, and Southern 2014, namely data condensation, data display, and drawing conclusion. And that's all from me. The next material will be delivered by my peer. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Regarding to the technique of the data collection and the analysis here, we found three big themes here. The first one is regarding student satisfactions. The second one is about the challenges, and the third one is student expectation. You can see the points of the student satisfaction, challenges, and student expectation each other. And from the discussion of the key end result here, we found that the first one is regarding to the student satisfaction. Number one, benefits. Perceived benefits is which utility of formative assessment. According to our research, students express high satisfaction with the utility of formative assessment as it helps them to track their progress and also receive specific feedback from their answering the questions, identify areas needing to improvement when they are answer the questions wrong, they are know which area that need improvement for them. And this ongoing feedback enables students to adjust their learning tactics and improve their performance consciously. And the second one is regarding to the impacts or observed impacts, which enhancement of learning. According to our research, we highlight that students found formative assessment to significantly improve their learning outcomes by providing timely and relevant feedback, which help them better the material and address their weaknesses effectively. And the third one is regarding to the ease of use. Ease of use is regarding to the intuitiveness. And our study found that students appreciate the straightforward, intuitive nature of technical tools used in formative assessment. This ease of use reduces cognitive load, which they don't have to think more about how to use the formative assessment itself. So it's making the learning process more fluid and less demanding. And then for the second theme is challenges they face by using technology in formative assessment, especially in learning English. The first one is the technical issues. It's regarding to the reliability of software and internet. It's also about the hardware used in do the formative assessment. Students reported various technical problems related to the hardware, software, and internet connectivity that disrupt the assessment process, which these disruptions can decrease the effectiveness of the assessment, undermine student engagement, and cause frustration. The reliability of the internet connection is particularly critical and crucial, as a stable connection is necessary for assessing resources and completing assessment within the allotted time frames. And the second one regarding challenges, there is a time constraint which cruciality of time pressure. This time pressure can result in students not being able to complete their assessment while engaging in formative assessment, causing additional stress and negatively impacting their performance in academic, and it's also gives them less focus. Managing time effectively is crucial, and if there is any technical problems during the assessment that consume valuable time, it can be significantly hinder the learning process. And the third one, or the last themes, is the students' expectations. The first one is regarding to the evaluating system quality, which we need to improving technical support. The first one, students suggested that the quality of technology should be evaluated truly before conducting assessment to avoid the disruptions that will happen in engaging in formative assessment. And second, effective technical support can help mitigate the impact of any issues that arise and injure smoother assessment process. So it's really critical and crucial to improve the technical support in use the formative assessment in engaging learning in English. And the last one is recommendation. These recommendations regarding to the lecturer or the educators who conducted the formative assessment itself. The students' emphasis the importance of being well informed about the assessment process and the technology involved. This includes clear instructions and preparatory steps to ensure that students are comfortable and confident in using the technology. So it means that the students focus on the material given in the formative assessment and do not think about which technology that will use in the formative assessment. It can be quizzes, Kahoot. So if the information is clear, students can focus on the material itself. Next. And the comparison with the previous studies. See, et al. 2021 argue that technology can be used to support formative assessment in many different ways. We have the same thing here, which we do the research in formative assessment and academic settings. And the research is regarding to the impacts of the technology and formative assessment. And we are also investigate students' perception of using technology in formative assessment, specifically within the context of English language learning. And the last ones from the findings is insights gained from the data analysis. We use interactive model by Manshamper Mansaldana 2014. The first one here, technology incorporation in formative assessment is beneficial, impactful, and use intuitive. And the second one, however, several challenges exist in engaging assessment, which is formative assessments. And the third one or last is technology used in formative assessment needs to be improved and evaluated. So that's all from me. And the next material will be given by the next speaker. Thank you.
To the next presenter, please.
All right, sorry. So here I'm going to explain from the practical to the impact. The practical number one is evaluate system quality. Educators should ensure the technology used in formative assessment base is reliable, user-friendly, and effective. This includes the regular evaluation of the system quality. And besides that, the educators should provide clear communication on the student, announce the technological tools and platform used in assessment beforehand. This allows the student to focus more on the material rather than the technical issue. The recommendation for classroom practice is using user-friendly. The educator should choose platforms that easy to use to minimize the technology issue and provide regular feedback. The educator should provide both for the content and the technology itself. This allows for ongoing improvement and assessment process. And alongside with this, student involvement also plays a role. Educators should involve students in discussion about the technological aspect in formative assessment. By evaluating and checking from the feedback, the student can this can help educators choose platforms that are easy to use and meet the student needs and preference. And last, for the potential, the finding found that technology-based formative assessment empower the student to improve their learning experience. This can help them identify the room for improvement. By reflecting on the feedback given by the teacher, students can develop and improve their self-awareness. This can help identify their strengths and weaknesses. And the last, after they understand and self-awareness, they can reflect back on the material and can gain a deeper understanding of the course content. This whole process can allow students to pinpoint areas for improvement and help them enhance their academic process. Or the next material will be delivered by next. All right, the next part is about the limitation. All right, the next part is about limitation and the challenges that we found during the research process. The first one is the difficulty of reaching one of the participants. Delays and require additional effort to coordinate schedules. And the next part is the technical difficulties during the recorded interview. Technical issue during the research resulting in audio glitches. These glitches cause some sentences to be incomplete, hindering comprehension, and then it is needed to recheck multiple times. And the next one is about the limitation and constraint that we found. It is about the major limitation was the scarcity of recent articles, particularly within the last 5 years, due to our research topic on how students perception. And the last is the suggestion for the future research. The first one is expanding participant demographic. Future research should aim to include a larger and more diverse sample of participants. This would enhance the generality of the findings and allow for the exploration of different contexts and educational settings. And studies. It is recommended to conduct longitudinal studies to assess the long-term effects of technology use in formative assessment on students' learning outcomes and engagement. Longitudinal research can help identify patterns over time and provide deeper insight into the sustained impact of the technological interventions. Thank you. The next part will be presented by my friend. All right, next slide. Next slide. The last material is about conclusion. So this research aimed to discover and explore student perception regarding the use of technology in formative assessment. The majority of participants have a positive view of technology in formative assessment, recognizing its many benefits and satisfaction for them. Like it's more flexible and enjoyable when using technology for formative assessment, even though they said there are still challenges when using technology during formative assessment. But most of the participants still prefer formative assessment with using technology rather than traditional formative assessment. This study by emphasizing student perception of technology-based formative assessment. So I think that's all from us. Thank you.
Okay.
Maybe I'll give it back to moderator.
Agenda is about Q&A session. Okay, we have 20 minutes in the session, and we highly encourage your active participation. So please feel free to ask the questions to our presenters in the session. You can drop the question in the chat box, or you may use the raise hand feature and unmute yourself if you want to ask your question directly to the presenters. Don't forget to mention your name, your affiliation, and to whom your question is addressed to. And for all the presenters, please answer the question directly because the time that we have is limited. Okay, let's start with the first question. It's from Riva Aulia from Universitas Siliwangi. Good afternoon. Thank you for the amazing presentation. I have a curiosity regarding the literature used by both groups for the research. Can you name the main literature that you use for your study and tell us what it is about and how it gave insight for your study? Okay, for the groups, the presenters are pleased to answer the questions.
All right, I would like to answer the advice questions regarding to the main literature that we use for our research is technology. Is technology always helpful? A critical review of the impact on learning outcomes of education technology in supporting formative assessment in schools. What is it about? Is it the quantitative research, which empirical study that they are investigate some case on students in school engaging in formative assessment. The review includes the 55 eligible studies from major databases and suggests that digitally delivered formative assessment shows promising evidence. So there are promising evidence in engaging in formative assessment for the students regarding to their performance in academic settings. So from this research, by C et al. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention who the author. The author is C et al. 2021. There are strong evidence in formative assessment engaging in subjects like math and reading skills. Even there are no evidence in learning English, so that this is give insights for us to improve. Also there are evidence and impacts or benefits that formative assessment also can beneficial for English lesson.
Okay, thank you for answer the question. The next is there is someone who have raised hand. So please to Nabila Sylvia Azahra.
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So my question is addressed to Group 2. So what actually makes TikTok interesting as a medium for learning English? Maybe is there any specific feature that might increase interest for independent English learners through TikTok? Thank you.
Okay, I will answer Nabila's question.
Okay, for the second group.
According to the data
Okay.
from participants, what makes it interesting is because TikTok is a short video, so it doesn't bore. The content is always up to date with something viral, and it is flexible, easily accessible anywhere, anytime. Enough.
That's enough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for answering the question. And thank you for us. Okay. Okay, next from Nikita Tulandari, or please to convey your question.
All right, thank you for the moderator. Before I address my question, I would like to highly appreciate both group for doing such a really good presentation. Yeah. Okay. I would like to ask question to both group here. For the first group, you mentioned earlier that the technique of data analysis that you use is the interactive model of Miles, Haberman, and Saldana. I just really want to know why would you use this this technique to analyze your data? Because as you mentioned earlier, you collect the data through semi-structured interviews. So I believe this is a qualitative research. And as far as I know, there is several ways to analyze your data in qualitative research. There is thematic analysis, narrative analysis, discourse analysis, etc., etc. I just really want to know why do you use this technique to analyze your data? Is there any special reasoning behind it? And also this question applies to the second group. For the second group, they mentioned that they're collecting the data through interview, so it's the same, it's qualitative research, and they use thematic analysis as the technique to analyze the data. I really also want to know, why do you use thematic analysis? Why don't you use discourse analysis? Because it also could use for interview, for an interview, because you collect the data through interview. I just really want to know. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your great question. Okay, for the presenters, please.
I would like to answer question from one.
For the first presenters. Okay.
May I?
Sure, yes, you may. Please.
We are from the second group, and we use thematic analysis because we choose thematic analysis because it is often for interviews, and it allows researchers to explore complex phenomena and understand participants' perspectives, and then uncover rich insight from their experience or narratives. And thematic analysis helps in organizing and making sense of qualitative data by identifying recurring themes or patterns across interviews, providing a structured approach to interpreting the data, because our research question is to investigate student perspectives for independent learning using TikTok.
Okay, I would like to answer the Bolani's questions regarding to the why we use the interactive model by Miles Haberman and Salwa in 2014. The first one is it's accessible and easy to analyze with that theory that the data gathered we use that is in interviews. So from the first steps is data condensations. We can choose we can make the abstractions, or we can choose the main information and make the theme of the interview result, and after that we can display the data, what is it about, and we can write it in a line like I told in the findings. There are student satisfactions is regarding to the data display after we abstraction the interview result, and after that we do the conclusion drawing. So it is about what is it the student satisfaction in that. So it's very suitable for our research that we conduct through the data gathered which interview. Hope that answer the question.
Okay, thank you for the presenters to answer the question. Okay, next. I'm gonna take from the chat box. It's from Dinda Aulia Nursolihat from Universitas Siliwangi. I want to ask to the second presenter. My question is how the participants perceive TikTok's effectiveness in improving their English skill, and what are the benefits and challenges there when using the platform for self-study. Okay, for the second presenters, are pleased to answer the questions.
All right, I will answer the question. They view TikTok as a flexible English learning medium and participated in improving their English skills. The advantage in that they can watch interesting content that they like while learning English. There are no significant challenges, but just sometimes that have to double check the accuracy. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you for answering the questions. The next question is from Akmal Jaki from Universitas Siliwangi. I would like to ask to group 1, were there any notable differences in the experiences of students using different platforms when engaging with technology-based formative assessments? Okay, for the first group, or first presenters, you may answer the questions. Please.
All right, here I would like to answer the question from Akmal. According to participants, the notable differences between the platform is about time constraint. So exactly, we do the survey first about the platform that that mostly used among the students. I mean the EED students. So there are three. There are Quizzes, Google Form, and Kahoot. And also the most notable differences is about the time constraint. We can give the example in how we do formative assessment in Quizzes. According to participants also, they feel that they do formative assessment in using Quizzes. They feel the pressure of how time constraint distract they when filling the formative assessment. And in comparing that to Google Form, it's so different. In Google Form, there's no what is it? The time to how we can fill the formative assessment. So both are different. And also in Google Form, we can check multiple times, for example, from the question and in up and to bottom to make sure that we feel the correct answer. Maybe it is.
Can I adjust?
Okay.
Please.
Regarding to the differences between the platform used in engaging the formative assessment by the participants, it's right about the time constraint, but there are also the differences between the using of quizzes and Kahoot, and the Google Form, which when the participant use Kahoot and quizzes, they are not feel like to think critical because the time pressure itself. Whether in Google Forms, the students or the participants stated that Google Form makes them informative assessment more think critically because they are have so much time to think about the answer about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for answering the questions for the first group. Okay, next. From Sasi Rahmatika from Universitas Siliwangi, I would like to ask group 2, what is your reason for choosing to search on learning English through TikTok? Okay, for the second group,
All right,
for second presenter, please. Okay.
All right, I will answer the questions. Currently, many students feel that learning in class is very boring and tend not to understand what they are learning because they are not paying attention. By using TikTok, which has a variety of interesting content, it is hoped that students can learn something in a new, more fun way so that they pay more attention. Maybe enough.
Okay, thank you for answering the questions. Next, from Salma Sahrul Ramadhani from Universitas Siliwangi, I have a question for the second group. What are the participants' future plans regarding the use of TikTok as a learning medium? Okay, for the second group, are pleased to answer the questions directly.
Okay, based on the statement from the participants, the first participant said that she wants to be able to optimize the use of TikTok as a medium for English learning media and to be more structured commitment and strategies such as taking notes on important materials and making a regular schedule with quality creators. While the second participant said that after watching the learning videos on TikTok, she curious to try making similar videos to share her English knowledge. And then in conclusion, they will continue to use TikTok as a learning medium, but not as the main. Hope it answer your question.
Okay, thank you for the presenters for answering the questions. Okay, because we still have 5 minutes to Q&A session. Does anyone want to ask again for the presenters? Does any participants want to ask the presenters? Okay, guys, I think it's enough for the Q&A session. It means we finally come to the end of this parallel session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizing committee and entire conference team, I want to express our heartfelt gratitude to all the presenters and participants. Your contribution makes this conference a vibrant and enriching experience for everyone involved. Now, let me capture this moment, so please, to anyone in this room, you can turn on your camera, please. Okay, I will start in the slide 1. I will take a picture. 3, 2, 1. Okay, for the slide 2. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining this presentation today. And don't forget to back to the main room because there is scheduled to the next agenda. And I think there will be an announcement for the awardee from this conference. So see you in the main room. I apologize if there are leading this parallel session. I am Anna signing out. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good job, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, please.